Oh, hey guys. I'm in the local trash ball finals, right? And I gotta train really hard because I'm going up against one of the best. His name is Blaze Colt, and he is a madman on the court, I tell you. Crap, I'm in a paper. Well, now how am I gonna practice? Oh!
Growing up, when I first got my Super Nintendo, there were 3 games I first remember getting. Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, and Super Mario Kart. And that was more than enough to satisfy me for like 2 months. But I remember going over to my cousin's house with it, and we played those games until the sun rose, baby. And then one day, his mom walks in the house with a big bag from Walmart. You know, like those big ass yellow smiley faces, those bags? Yeah, you know. And she pulls out a game. And guess what it was? NBA Jam, baby! So if you grew up in Indiana as a young boy in the 1990s like I did, you know there's only 3 things that you were legally obligated to love. Holiday World, Corn on the Cob, and NBA Jam. Basketball was in like every aspect of my childhood, from playing it, to watching it, to dreaming about playing it and watching it with Michael Jordan. It's still one of my favorite sports to indulge in to this day, and I religiously believe the movie Hoosiers is totally real and I don't care what anyone says. So you can probably imagine the level of hype that was felt every birthday party, sleepover, or even just like a little play date, if you know what I mean. Basically, NBA Jam was the game that I went to when I was looking to not do my homework, or when girls came over. NBA Jam is a 2-on-2 basketball game that released in arcades in 1993. It eventually saw a console release on both the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis the following year. And the reason why so many people look to this game as important to the video game industry is because it was like the first licensed sports game to actually feature real players in it. So all those times you played things like tennis and golf on the NES, you were probably just thinking, well, this sucks. I just want to slam my racket down like John McEnroe did already. Well, in NBA Jam, you can light up the courts as grade A asshole Charles Barkley and set the net on fire just like real life. With this style of gameplay that they introduced, they basically launched an entire movement of games, like the goofy arcade sports game genre. Patent pending. This game was so huge and culturally significant that even Shaquille O'Neal had a personalized arcade machine made for him, and he refused to travel around to games without it. And we're talking about Shaq Daddy here, like the Big Shamrock, the Diesel Man. Look at him, he's beautiful. The over-the-top nature really adds charm to its gameplay. Like, it's fun. It's not there to be hyper-realistic. We're not trying to recreate actual physics here. The developers weren't concerned that humans can't actually jump over the goal while doing front flips to slam the ball into the net. I know. That's hard to believe. Most sports games today are under the title of simulator, as they're trying to simulate real life by making everything as technical as possible. And yeah, that's fine and all. I know there's a market for it, but it's not me. One of the biggest things it's got going for it though is the simplicity of this game. You can run, shoot, block, shove, slam, jam. Instead of having an entire team, you only really have 2 players to work with, a small boy and a big boy. One of these guys shoots the ball and plays point guard, and the other guy basically blocks the paint and throws the ball down. The developers kept things simplistic as to not really overwhelm anyone, because this is an arcade game at its heart, and this leads to games being relatively quick and upbeat. There's never a time where I'm just sitting back like, oh man, what play should I call this time? You know what play I'm gonna call? The Jam. Oh, and NBA Jam doesn't waste its time with things like rules. Aside from the 24-second shot clock and goaltending, there's no real serious rules to this game. That's what's nice about it. It just says, hey, why don't you just go over there and shove that guy down? It keeps the momentum up and running. It makes games go by quick, so if you think you're gonna lose a match, well, you know it's not gonna be that long before you're back on the paint doing slams and welcoming people to the Jam. My only real complaint about NBA Jam is its lack of like single player content. You're basically just here for the multiplayer, and that's where the game really shines. Although I will say, playing the computers in this game is actually kind of challenging for a game in 1994. It's really frustrating whenever the opponent keeps getting put on fire and you're just sitting back there like, well, I want to be on fire. I strongly believe that one of the most important elements to this game is this dude right here, the announcer.
Boom shakalaka!
The announcer provides so much levity to most moments and makes the games feel so much more alive. It's something I wish more sports games did today, instead of just trying to simulate the drab sports announcers on TV. I mean, have you ever listened to these guys? Oh my God.
Knicks will have 4 seconds to advance this ball, either from under the basket or off a rebound, should they get the rebound. on a missed shot.
Really? Tell me that again from the beginning. One thing that NBA Jam always did have going for it is its accessibility. It's intended for anyone and everyone to be able to pick it up and play it and love it. Midway wanted people of all ages to be able to come together and enjoy this game. So as long as Grandma can see, well, she can be competition. I know what you're up to, Grandma. It's probably why you really only have to push like 3 buttons during the entire game. You just need to be able to move, shoot, and use that turbo, baby. Oh yeah, so you have a turbo meter, by the way, and this is pretty much the bread and butter of the whole game. Like, if the meter is high, you can run faster, and let me tell you what, you're gonna need that shit. It makes a huge difference when you're trying to run down court and slam a ball back in someone's face and send them home crying to their mom about how they're never gonna be successful or as popular as Michael Jordan. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, LeBron. The turbo meter also increases your chances of making shots, making safer passes, along with it already giving you cheetah-like powers, baby. It's got that little bit of extra depth to the game to keep it from feeling stale, and it can make every game feel totally different. So once you've mastered the turbo meter, well, you've mastered this game, my friend. So, NBA Jam. It's the very essence of what makes games great. It lets you push the limits of reality while staying somewhat grounded and simplistic. It's just a shame to see this IP lay dormant for so long. Now, it did get a new game in 2011, and well, it was alright, but I think many of us would love to see some type of re-release of the old one on modern consoles. I mean, some of my friends who don't even like basketball love this game. I mean, they're always down for a good jam session, and by jam session, I mean screaming at each other on the couch while eating pizza. Damn it, I love video games.
Well, that was fun. I figure between this and the NBA Finals coming up, I've gained a lot of good basketball knowledge that I can carry into my competition with Blaze. I lost.